longitudinal scan. Okay, you can place that in different areas. So in this case, baka tinitingnan niya ngayon yung urinary bladder. But this is a longitudinal scan na tinatawag. Ayan. So dapat maging familiar kayo sa ultrasound scanning. Meron din naman, nasa crosswise like this. Again, ayan na naman tayo. If this will be the case, ayan siya, transverse scan naman ang tawag sa kanya. So we have longitudinal, we have transverse. These are the two standard scanning na ginagamitan ng probe, okay, or ng transducer. Okay, so ayan yung orientation. We mentioned it. Lahat ng orientation marker natin should be pointing sa palad or pointing on the right side, no? Yan yung yan yung key natin diyan. Okay. Ito hindi naman kayo tatanungin, no? Pero at least papakita ko lang sa inyo paano sila nag-scan. So parang ito, no? Longitudinal section, left lower quadrant, no? And transverse scan, right upper quadrant, no? So intercostal orientation yan. Ayan yung mga orientation na ginagamit. But don't worry, hindi kayo tatanungin yan sa board exam. Okay? Kasi pang na talaga yan, pang specific ultrasound scanning na. Meron din mga ganito, nakita yun, naka-oblique, no? Naka-oblique. So, ginagamit ko kadalasan na ganito, na left lateral decubitus, kasi may tinitignan sila na kidney or yung mga retroperitoneal organs, no? Just like this. So, ganun ang yan. Kaya ino-oblique nila. So, they are using high-frequency probe, pero ino-oblique nila para mas malapit doon sa area of interest. O, ganyan din. Longitudinal, meron ding oblique na tinatawag para iliac, no? Meron din tayong transverse na style natin. Okay? O, ayan din siya. So again, ulitin ko lang, don't worry, hindi kayo tatanungin about it. Pinakita ko lang sa inyo paano. So may mga tawag, no? Hindi kayo basta tutok lang ng tutok. So may mga tawag specific, no? Like for example, intercostal section na ganito. Ano tinitingnan niya rito? Ayan, ang makikita mo dyan, porta hepatis, hepatic artery, bile duct, portal vein, liver, gallbladder, etc. etc. So para sa ganun yan. So makikita mo siya na ganun. So there's specific kumbaga sa positioning natin sa sa X-ray, meron din tayo, di ba? Alam natin ano makikita natin kapag nag-Caldwell tayo, alam natin ano makikita natin pag nag-Townes tayo, di ba? Yan 'yon. Alam natin pagka tayo na nag-apicular dotic tayo, ano yung makikita natin ng mga organs. So ganun din tong ultrasound. Just like this one, no? Ayan din siya. So pinakita ko lang sa inyo, don't worry, no? Wala namang yan. Okay, echogenicity. Ito yung may tanong kahapon Sabing ganun kahapon, ano ba talaga ang echogenicity ng liver? No. So again, ang sasagot natin doon is depende 'yon sa comparison. So for the sake of those who were not here yesterday, because face-to-face kayo, tsaka yung iba na mga naka-online pero ngayon lang nakapasok, lagi natin tatandaan, liver will be the window, no? Ultrasound window ng upper abdomen. While the urinary bladder will be the window, organ window, ng lower abdomen, ng pelvis. Ano ibig sabihin ng window? Ang ibig sabihin nun, you're trying to look at other organs using that window. So, ibig sabihin nun, no, you want to see pancreas, you want to study kidney, you want to study spleen by merely looking at liver. Ano ibig sabihin? Ibig sabihin, you wanted to compare the pancreas to liver, kidney to liver, spleen to liver, para malaman mo kung mayroong yung contour niya, yung texture niya, yung echogenicity niya, ay magbabago. No? Kasi liver yung pinakamalaking organ. Kaya siya yung ginamit ngayon na para pinaka-model. So when you say windowing, that means may model. No? Nagmo-model ka para para malaman mo kung okay ba yung ibang organ. Sa urinary bladder naman, yun yung window ng pelvic region. So tandaan niyo lagi yan. Ha? So puntahan natin to echogenicity. Naku, lakas na naman ang ulan dito sa amin. Okay. So we have 4 bullets here. So echogenicity, pag sinabi, this is the the degree, no, or amount of echoes that the organ possesses. So ito yung appearances niya. So pag sinabi nilang echogenic, that means merong bumalik na signal, may bumalik na echo. Pero pag walang bumalik na echo, alam natin, paulit-ulit ko inuulit 'yon, walang makikitang signal, itim 'yon, no? Just like yung fluid. Okay? Now, yung last bullet ang pinaka-importante rito. Sabi rito, differences in appearance are what allows us to discern one structure from another and allow us to establish normal versus abnormal appearances for each particular structure. So, as I have mentioned, liver ngayon, kinukumpara ngayon sa adjacent structure. So, you can easily see kung magiging normal pa ba yung tinitignan mo na intended mo na organ by just comparing it to liver. Okay? Kung ano man yung organ na yon, na-mention ko na sa inyo kanina. Okay, so let us watch this.
You may already have seen many ultrasound images. These B-mode images showing many shades of gray. But what are we actually looking at? And why do ultrasound images look the way they look? First of all, ultrasound images are often commended for their so-called tissue echogenicity. There are certain regions in the image which are bright. These are images with a large echo, and they're called hyperechoic, such as in this case. Other regions are more grayish. They are called hypoechoic. They have a little bit lower echo, like at this location. And there are even regions in the image which might be completely dark. They don't show any echo, and these regions are called anechoic. From an earlier video, you may remember that in ultrasound images we see variations of acoustic impedance. Now, a tissue has a different acoustic impedance than its surroundings, and it gives an echo from the surface of the tissue. But also inside the tissue we have many regions, very small regions, with variations in acoustic impedance, and each of these regions gives a small echo. So that creates the ultrasound image with a large echo from the surface of the organs and smaller echoes from the interior of the organ, the interior of the tissue. But it's not just the echo that we look at in ultrasound images. The echo from an object or a series of objects very much looks like the ingoing pulse, and the frequencies in the echo are more or less the same as the frequencies in the pulse. The ultrasound signals coming back from the tissue are called radio frequency signals or RF signals. Don't ask me why. But it's not very useful to show these.
Okay, take note, ano? Baka ngayon lang uli narinig to. Yung sinabi ko sa inyo kahapon, echoes or reflection are classified as RF signals. Oh, so you might be surprised with that. Ano? Kasi usually ang RF signals na ginagamit natin sa MRI. Pero sa ultrasound, RF signals din yan na tinatawag. Okay? Just for a points to ponder lang. Oops.
You may already
sorry.
have the ingoing pulse in the pulse from the tissue or RF signals. Don't ask me why. But it's not very useful to show these radio frequency signals in the image because the frequencies are much too large and the resolution of your monitor often will be insufficient to show all these high frequency details of the ultrasound image. So in practice, the signal is being filtered in such a way that the tops, the peaks of the echoes are connected to each other, like is shown by this line. These are the so-called demodulated echoes, or envelopes of the ultrasound signal. But why do ultrasound signals often look so grainy, so noisy, so speckled? Let's have a look at two objects very close to each other, at a slightly different depth in the tissue. We can have the situation that the two echoes from these objects are aligned in such a way in time that the peaks of one echo coincide with the valleys in the other echo. And in this case, they interfere in a so-called destructive way, and the net result is a lower echo. But now if one of the objects is shifted by a quarter of a wavelength, the echo of that object will shift by half a wavelength. And now the maxima of the echoes of both objects coincide, the minima coincide, and then they amplify each other. And this is called constructive interference.
Okay, this is another board question, no? You might be surprised, no? Kasi siya, walang number, pero physics yan. So, anong ibig sabihin? Ito, yung speckle appearance. Yung speckle appearance, makikita natin grainy appearance ng ultrasound. No? Hindi siya ganun kaganda compare sa image ng mga X-ray, ng MRI, ng CT scan. No? Yung mga puti niya, medyo hindi ganun kaganda, just like what you saw sa mga previous images natin. Now, kung babalikan natin ang physics niya, no, puntahan natin yung wave. So, these two object, no, sinabing ganun ng speaker na yan, this green and this violet represents these two waves. May pagkakataon na yung waves nila nagpapatong-patong pag binabasa ng ultrasound machine. At yung pagpapatong-patong na yon, nangyayari, nako-confuse ngayon yung machine. Kaya ang tawag nila, destructive interference. So yan ngayon yung nagkakos ng speckled appearance ng images natin sa ultrasound. So nakita nyo rin, ginalaw ngayon to, no? 1/4 wavelength, no? When they move it 1/4 wavelength, ang mag-a-adjust naman yun yung machine or pwede mong i-adjust, no? Nagkakaroon ngayon ng overlapping na magpapatong na. Ito kasi, o nga nag-overlap sila pero hindi na coincide doon sa mismong wavelength din nung kasama niya. Kaya naguluhan. Hindi kagaya nito, nagpatong sila na coincide mismo sa wavelength nung katabi niya, kaya tinatawag natin na constructive interference. Nababawasan ngayon yung speckled appearance. Okay? So ituloy natin yung video.
Now a tissue consists of a large amount of these reflectors. So what we get back is a kind of cloud of echoes. Some of these echoes amplify each other, and other echoes cancel each other. And other ones do something in between. And the result is this so-called speckled image.
Ayan.
With these whitish grayish spots.
So yan, alam nyo na, nakita nyo na, no? So kaya noisy siya, no? Yung speckled appearance, dahil sa dami ng mga wavelength na lumilitaw. Na sometimes they are overlapping with each other, sometimes they are interfering with each other, known as the destructive interference. Kaya yan, alam nyo na ngayon. So it's because of that wavelength. Na meron iba, magkapatong na, okay naman, coincide. So okay yon. Pero pag hindi coincide, magkapatong lang siya, magkakaroon siya ng ganitong appearance. So I hope naintindihan nyo mabuti yung ba't gano'n ang itsura ng ultrasound images natin.
Now speckles offer a nuisance in ultrasound imaging. So in some machines, there is an algorithm that filters out these speckles to make a nicer image, smoother image.
Okay, so sabi niya ganon, there are systems ng machine na tinatanggal yon, pero yung mga old one wala, no? Just like sa ngayon sa CT scan, no, yung filter back projection, meron na silang like for example beam hardening artifact. Dati may mga machine na walang filter, no? So lumilitaw yung beam hardening. Pero ngayon, there are built-in software to reduce that. Ganun din sa MRI. So, sa ultrasound, ganun din ngayon. No, meron na silang software to reduce the speckle appearance. No, wala kang gagawin diyan, wala kang ilalagay, no? Software 'yon na magtatanggal ng speckle appearance. Bakit kaya? Since ultrasound is computer, so naturally, computer din dapat ang computer-based din dapat ang magtatanggal, di ba? Computer din dapat ang magbibigay ng filtration. So, yun lang yung point natin dito. Okay? Next one. So, we can now describe echogenicity, no? Ayan tayo. Although natapit na natin ito kahapon, anechoic or sonolucent, no? Ibig sabihin walang signal, hyperechoic, lower yung signal, hyperechoic or echogenic, no? Matakas na signal, and then same signal, isoechoic. So let's make an example of this. Ayan. So makita natin dito, liver to, no? Ito gallbladder. So sabi natin, ano laman ng gallbladder? Bile, no? So ang laman ng gallbladder is bile. Ano ba yung bile? Di ba fluid? Kaya itim siya. Kita ninyo, itim siya. But I don't want to concentrate on this. I rather concentrate on this area. This is the liver. No, ito yung speckled appearance na tinatawag, no? Yung nasa gilid. So papansinin natin dito, there's a lesion. Lesion is a general term ng ng presence ng uniqueness ng isang organ. So pag nakakita ka ng isang uniqueness ng organ, no, na suspecting of a tissue that is not commonly seen in general term, so you call it lesion. So parang ano yan, ginagamit na safety lingwahe ng medical doctors, no? May lesion tayo nakita. But what is that lesion? Anong made up ng lesion na yon? Tsaka lang yon i-elaborate. Pero generally speaking, sinasabi lang nila na lesion. So here, makita natin, hypoechoic liver lesion. Ito yon, no? Bakit sinabi kayang hypoechoic? Kasi sabi nga lower level gray echoes compared sa surrounding liver tissues, no? Yung parenkema niya, magkaiba yung kulay. So darker yung surrounding niya. Compare mo dito. I don't know kung medyo nakikita ninyo, kung cellphone lang ang gamit niyo or laptop. Pero ayan yon. Nakita ninyo? So ayan siya. Kaya tinatawag natin na hypoechoic liver lesion. Ayan. Another liver lesion. Pero ang tawag naman natin hyperechoic. No? Ayan siya. So again, liver to. Kita natin yung shades of gray niya. Pero may mga patch siya na puti. No? A brighter is area on a generally grayish background. Kaya tinatawag natin na hyperechoic. No? In this case, hindi tayo mag-interpret kung anong klaseng lesion yan. Ano? That's not our point here. Ang point natin dito, at is naintindihan ninyo yung tawag, yung lingwahe. No, dun muna tayo. Okay? Kasi it would not be fair para describe natin yung lesion na yan without even seeing the background of it or yung mismong medical records niya. So we don't want to speculate anything. But what we wanted to touch here will be the echogenicity, yung color mismo. Kasi yun, dun tayo muna dapat, yun ang first step natin. Kaya yung color, kaya dinidescribe natin yung ultrasound image. Na meron tayong hypoechoic compare with the surrounding. Meron din naman tayong hyperechoic compare sa grayish surrounding. O, ayan na naman. Naku, liver na naman, ano? Puro liver. Ayan, mamaya na tayo. Balikan muna, mamaya na tong isa. Dito muna tayo. So, liver, kita natin, no? Itim to, no? Natural ugat yan, no? At syempre, bakit siya itim? Kasi fluid ang dumadaan. Blood, di ba? So, fluid na naman, itim na naman yan. However, makikita natin, parang merong iba yung ano niya, texture over here. Kumpara mo dito sa texture ng liver na to. Pero medyo mas mahirap siyang tignan, especially sa untrained eye. Sa trained eye, madali mo makita kasi sanay ka kagad. Pero kapag unang tingin mo or non-rad tech ka, parang hindi mo alam na meron palang problema. So makita natin iba yung contour niya. Pero dahil nahirapan ka, kasi nga, it is isoechoic, meaning it has similar signal compare with the surroundings. Halos parehas. No? Kaya sinabi mo na hypoechoic lesion or tinatawag natin na hepatic adenomas. No, ayan, in-identify na sa iyo na hepatic adenomas. So, yan pala yon. Okay? Now, yung in-open ko kanina, ayan, anechoic hydrocele. Itong hydrocele, no, ito yung testis, no? Okay? So, kung sa salitang Tagalog, yan yung bayag, di ba? Ng lalaki. So, usually bata ito. No, pag sinabi nila hydrocele, may tubig. No, may mga ganun pero sometimes no? Pagka inalam mo mabuti, yung hydrocell na yan goes away with it naturally, no? Nawawala rin. Pero kung di talaga mawawala, kailangan ng intervention. So, since yan ay fluid, tubig, ano? Tubig siya sa bayag, no? Alam natin, ang fluid or tubig is sonolucent, no? The wave can pass through it. So, naturally, itim siya o anechoic siya. Because it is fluid filled, no internal echoes, it completely transmits the ultrasound wave, no? So, walang na-absorb sa kanya, dumiretso lahat. Kaya itim siya. Ito yung mga common sa mga bata. Tandaan nyo ha yan, yung mga common na yan, yung mga hydrocell na yan. No? Kaya pag nakakita kayo ng ganyan, alam mo na kaagad. Pag sinabi mo hydrocell, fluid yon. And take note, lumitaw uli yan sa board exam. No? Part siya ng question sa RATSI, yung hydrocell. Okay? Kaya pinakita ko rin sa inyo dito. Okay, ito na ngayon yung comparing, no? Isoechoic example, no? Like for example, spleen and liver, they are almost isoechoic with one another, no? Sila yon, spleen and liver, mas isoechoic sila. O kaya yung mga metastatic diseases, no? Medyo mahirap anuhin yan, kaya kailangan i-further study kasi sinasabi ng mga doktor, correlate that with CT scan study or MRI study or yung mga radiologists sasabihin sa mga attending physician, pwede po ba na mag-request kami na after ng ultrasound, CT scan siya or after ng ultrasound, MRI siya. Just to make sure na tama yung diagnosis nila. Otherwise, hindi sila magbibigay ng conclusive diagnosis. No? Minsan may mga doctor kasi na na medyo safe, no? Alam mo yung hindi siya ganun katapang na magsabi na ito ay ganitong klaseng sarcoma to. So may mga ang tawag nila doon differential differential diagnosis. Ibig sabihin, you need to compare that further to other studies using other imaging modalities. So marami akong nakitang ganyan when I was still working in a hospital. Kita mo, yung may mga doktor na play safe, no? Ayaw nila magbigay talaga ng conclusive na diagnosis. Medyo takot, no? Pero meron naman matatapang na doktor, talaga sinasabi nila na ganito, no? So that's that's one thing na medyo na-amaze ako sa mga doktor na yon na nakatrabaho ko na matatapang talaga na nagsasabi ito yan, ganito yan. No? Pero meron ka rin makikita kasi na doktor na medyo yun nga kahit matalino pero let us use this word pero ayoko sana gamitin duwag, no? Hindi nila o kaya play safe nga umiiwas sa kung saan man, maybe sa zoo o sa sa settlement o kung ano man. Yes, parang comparative study. Yung pag sinabi nilang differential diagnosis, meron silang kaya sasabihin nila, pwedeng ganito 'yan. Pwedeng ganitong problem 'yan o ganitong pathology 'yan o ganitong pathology 'yan. Differential diagnosis 'yon. So hindi sila magpo-point ng isang sakit, kundi magbibigay sila ng tatlo na baka pwede na yun 'yon. Kaya further study 'yon. So pag nabasa ng ibang doktor 'yon or ng attending physician, gagawin nila, o sige, magpa-CT scan ka naman. O kaya, o sige, magpa-MRI ka naman. Kaya yung mga kadalasan na ngayon sa mga sa mga pasyente, instead na ultrasound lang, nagpapa-X-ray pa, nagpapa-CT scan pa, nagpapa-MRI pa. Kasi nga yung basa ng doktor alanganin. Play safe nga. O meron naman talaga kasi na images na medyo hindi inconclusive. No, tatandaan niyo 'yan. Hindi naman natin i-blame lahat sa doctor 'yan. Sometimes our imaging modality cannot show really in true essence kung anong klaseng sakit 'yon unless talaga i-compound siya o samahan siya ng laboratory examination. Syempre kukuha ka ng biopsy noon. Doon mo pa lang talaga malalaman yung conclusive term. Kaya talaga kadalasan yung laboratory, siya yung final analysis. Siya talaga yung magsasabi na tama yung sinabi ng radio doctors, no? So ganun siya, no? So kahit na magagaling yung mga radiologists na yan, no, minsan hindi sila nagbibigay ng definitive diagnostic report. Laging meron differential o kaya yung further study pa ng comparison with other imaging modality. So yan lang yung makikita niyo lalo pag nagtatrabaho na kayong mga fresh graduate, no? O kaya kahit na nag-intern kayo, hindi nyo pa masyadong maintindihan, pero pag nagtatrabaho na makikita mo kung sino talaga yung doktor na talagang sure siya doon, ibig sabihin nun, talagang well-experienced siya na pag nakita niya yon yung isang anomaly na yun, lesion na yun, alam niya kagad kung anong klase. Okay? But that's not absolute, Minsan din, nagpe-play safe din sila. So, depende yon di ba? Depende yon na kasi sila yung bumabasa Siyempre, pirma nila yung nakataya doon. Pag ginamit yon sa korte, yari sila. Kaya, to be safe, nag-aano sila. Pero kasi may mga doktor na lahat, pag pinasa mo sa kanya, differential. Puro differential diagnosis. Medyo ano pa naman itong doktor na to, puro si differential. Wala kang makita talaga na definitive. No? Parang ang hina naman itong doktor na to. Ang tagal-tagal niya na, consultant na, pa rin, differential pa rin. No, mapupuna mo kahit naman sa RadTech, 'di ba? May mga RadTech na matagal na lisensyado pero di marunong mag-X-ray, di marunong maggawa ng simpleng positioning man lang. Pumasa lang talaga sa board, pero wala talaga. O ganun din naman sa doktor. Pero malalayo sa atin kasi, 'di ba? Biro mo, RRT ka na, hindi ka marunong mag-X-ray kasi nag-board exam ka, hindi ka nakapag-intern. So, yun lang 'yon. Okay guys, no less than 1 minute. Again, let me stop the sharing. I'll get back to you para sa mga bagong join ngayon na taga face-to-face, no? Nag-iintay kami ng 10 minutes bago kami makapag-send uli ng link. So, itayin nyo lang ha, mag-send ako ng link after 10 minutes kasi yun yung 10 minutes sa pagitan, allowance ng Zoom. Okay, see you later guys, no? See you later. Itayin nyo lang yung natin, yung 10 minutes. Thank you.
Record.